Got some water. Let me get this thing up here. Every time I try to share it to my page, it won't go to my page. Ain't only gonna be two people looking, but still, you know what I mean?
That two people can get out there to tens and thousands of people.
Two people matter, man.
Yeah.
I think we here. Let me see. Yeah.
We matter, man.
Got Dale up here looking like a farmer.
You know what I'm saying? Here today. I'm acting how I feel today. You know what I mean?
Let me pop
Shatika, Hill, Cooper, stay on, Tick. Stay on.
Let us get this thing popping, man.
I'm gonna need that dialogue. Richard Scott.
I'm up Y'all here. Be patient. Let me get this thing
I'm up here like I'm cold. Dow Conyers, what's up? Yeah, this is a deep subject, man, for people who got...
Everybody come on in, man. Share, like, share. You know what I mean?
Share it out. Get it out, man.
I'm trying to get this thing up, and it's not acting right, but I'm going to share it to my page. That's what I'm going to do. Then we're going to come through with the intro, because I don't know, Dale page be acting funny. I think the man is on your page.
Yeah, man, they on me hard, man. They on me very, very hard,
bro. It's got a delay in it. Let's get this thing popping, man,
Let's
for
get
sure.
It popping. Yep. We're going to need some women today, man.
Yeah. Ain't no football or nothing happening, right?
Oh, it's always some football happening, you know what I mean? Don't know. What's up, Brandon Lemon?
What's good?
Tanika McBride.
Everybody come on in. Let's do some of that Black History Talk today.
Yeah, everybody's coming on.
Some of our history talk today.
We got some people watching, man.
That's all we need.
Here we go.
All right. Y'all already know what it is. Jameel Zamir over here and the big homie.
Del Castro in the building.
Back at it again. Y'all know we were all for a minute. I hope y'all will stay with us and join in, man, and make some things happen for us. Go ahead and hit that share button, hit the like button, and make our numbers go up sky high, because I don't know how people be talking about money ain't nothing, all that likes ain't nothing, but that's real estate for us, man. That puts us where we need to be in terms of likability and views, and then that gives Facebook, that puts them in a position where they have to offer us incentives in order for us to continue with the show. And after that, what we'll do is we'll have any of you that have businesses and other things like that, we can promote that and get an actual following for your business. Of course, there will be a tiny little fee, because it's time to make some money, anything like that. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in and welcoming you, trying to get the rhythm back. Myself, I was out for 1 week. Castro was out for another week, had his anniversary. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? And y'all can understand that, of course. So thank everybody for tuning in again. We got a lot of subjects to hit on today. I wanted to open up real quick, and I wanted to kind of wait for more people to come on, but it's all good. I don't know how it's going to go today.
Keep going.
I think I want to share this, though, but I'm afraid to share it on my page. I'm going to share it anyway. Y'all give me a minute, man. Shoot.
Go ahead and share it, bro.
I'm going to just share it to the public and let it go through one more time. So thank y'all for tuning in. Billy Blocko, Rosalind Mazan, thank y'all for tuning in. Let's go with it like this. I want to touch on this first, Castro, if I can. Everybody knows Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg just made a comment about Gail from the news, and she's a friend of Oprah Winfrey. And then Snoop Dogg had to retract his statement. I wanted to kind of get you all into the mindset of how worlds work before we get into the subject matter today.
Okay.
When you're accepted into a particular world, rather it's a gang world, rather it's an upper echelon world, no matter what the world is, there are certain rules and guidelines you have to go by. Because you don't want to allow insiders to come into your world and understand the mechanics of your world. They can't infiltrate your world. Snoop Dogg knows that he is a part of a particular world. He was taken from a lower level, which is the gang life, and introduced. Now he's standing side by side with Martha Stewart and all these other people. I'm trying to get you to understand how this thing works. When he talks the way he talked, of course it was out of emotion for Kobe Bryant. But when you point fingers at the elite and you're the lower part of the upper echelon of elites, they can destroy your life in a heartbeat. Blackball you, stop your money from flowing. He didn't understand that, because he was talking from the level of a gangster, and from emotion. My point is, people that we think are these hardcore thugs and gangsters, if they're in this upper echelon world, they're not that anymore. They're totally controlled by someone bigger than themselves. Snoop Dogg's job is to lead you in a certain direction. That's his job.
Right.
And as long as he does that, he'll get paid for that.
Right.
If he steps out of line with that, he'll either get blackballed or he'll get dead. It's one or the other. Now he had to be checked and put back into place.
That was fast.
So very fast.
Yeah.
So the person that you thought is this hardcore gangster, now he could come to a black neighborhood and kill everybody. That's no problem.
Right.
But when you're talking against the upper echelon of black elites, that's a problem.
Oh, yeah.
You don't let anyone in that world. It's the same way in Manning, South Carolina. There is an upper echelon of black elites who you see every day and you think y'all on the same level, but you're not.
Exactly.
They're in a whole nother world than we are. They can stop something from happening based upon the laws of the land, or they can make it happen.
Right. In
our world, we have that same power, Castro.
Right.
But we don't unite the way we should and stay in it for the long haul.
Right.
It's like people, if everyone stayed on our broadcast, we should have over 1,000 people watching every Sunday.
Every time we tune in.
But no, some will come, some will leave, some don't want to report it, some are upset that we're doing it.
Right.
So we're not united.
Right.
The elite are united because they're protecting a world.
Oh, yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? I wanted to get that out there real quick.
People need to understand.
Because you need to understand that the people that you admire and think are so tough, from Jay-Z to Kanye to Nas, all of them, they're on a whole nother different level because Nas co-signed Lil Nas X as the next hot thing.
Yeah.
He's not a great rapper. He's garbage.
Right.
But they have to do these things.
Right, right.
So I just wanted to put that out there so we can understand that you can admire these people from a distance, but you really don't know their life.
And to be set up words of what they said, but then they get checked and put back in order real fast.
That's right.
That's what happened with Snoop.
And that's what happened
He tried
with
to
Snoop.
say his mom's made him apologize, but we know when you start playing with the billionaires, what's going to happen.
Exactly, and that's the way it goes. So thank everybody for tuning in.
Power.
Oh, yeah, all of them do. And then you got the another lady in the political realm come into play and say, we'll come against you with this army or whatever.
Oh, yeah, that was enough.
Yeah, so that was enough. So I wanted to point that out to people. It's nothing that you waste time talking about, but a lot of us don't understand the difference between the echelons and
the
us.
way that things work.
The way things work. So I wanted to put that out there because Allah said to put it out there. Yep. So I put it out there.
That was great.
Now let's get back. Let's get into this thing. I wanted to talk first of all. We were absent for 2 weeks, right?
Right. We was absent.
But you had brought up a subject about black women in particular and cancer.
Right.
And I had already did a commentary several years ago about endocrine disruptors and black women.
Okay.
The average black woman puts 168 chemicals on her body every single day.
Right.
That's from lotion, hair products, makeup, nail polish. She sprays her vagina. She put lotion on her heels. She puts on cologne. She puts on eyeliner. And all of these, actually puts on these earrings and all these things that have all these different chemical compounds.
Right.
And we're not understanding now why women are dying rapidly. 45% of all deaths from cancer of any kind, ovarian, fibroid, breast cancer, black women.
Well, yeah. Definitely.
Because now we're going into these super duper hairdos. We're adding color. And let me tell you something. I love to see you all with your hairs braided, with the color in your hair, with your eyes, different colors. I mean, but that should be a temporary thing.
Right.
That's not you, and it's not something you should be wearing to bed and waking up in because you're afraid of someone seeing the real you.
Right.
So I wanna start with that if we can, and then go into other subjects. Now, this is an article written by someone on Twitter. Their Twitter handle is @hypehair.
Okay.
Hype hair.
Okay.
And I want to read this real quick for the women. We're talking about Black history. And this is indeed a period in our story where our women are dying from chemical overdose.
Oh, man.
Now, the article starts, for years, many thought it was ridiculous for hair chemicals to get into our reproductive tract. However, the chemicals, especially hydroxides and lye relaxers, sodium hydroxide and no lye relaxer, texturizers, and kitty perms, calcium hydroxide, lithium hydroxide can absorb and burn into your skin through the numerous pores, cuts, and scratches on the scalp and on the surface of the hair. These chemicals can not only damage your hair roots, but they can also absorb into your scalp abundantly into the bloodstream.
That's what this girl is saying
right now. And once it enters your bloodstream, it disrupts your endocrine system.
Oh, God.
And most people aren't aware of what the endocrine system is, but we're going to go into that a little bit today about the endocrine system, because these are the vital parts of the body that keeps us sane, that keeps us healthy, that keeps us alert and keep our body flowing properly. They're being damaged by these chemicals that we are addicted to.
Is it disturbing our nerves too?
The nerves, the mind, the heart, the blood, the kidneys, all of these things are being affected by these chemicals. So when studies were published in 2011 linking hair relaxers to early menses, which means your daughter is 5.
Right.
We immediately start painting their nails.
Right.
We immediately start putting relaxers in their hair.
Yeah.
And then almost immediately they start growing breasts. They start having menstrual cycles. They start being more feminine than they should be.
So we're making them develop quicker by what we give them.
Exactly.
Okay.
In these chemicals. Now, many of us, we should know this. There should be a common connection between all of these chemicals and our children's behavior, but unfortunately, we don't use common sense, Castro.
Okay.
The common sense factor has turned into, so what? Right. I don't care. Somebody's got to do it.
Right.
So in an early age, uterine fibroids, infertility,
that's what's
and early hysterectomy. These, I got a lot of terms that I got to break down. Right. This is hysterectomies. Right. See how I broke that down? Yo. Now it makes all the sense in the world.
I always wanted to see him mess up one time.
It's the first put. Hey, mark that down.
Right.
First time.
First time in
hysterectomies.
Right.
All of these things in our children, it's breaking down the immune system in the girls.
Okay.
So you'll find even during this flu season that more women have the flu.
Yeah,
because their immune systems are being broken down because of the chemicals being entered into their blood. You see what I'm saying? And automatically they have a medicine for you to take, but that again breaks down your immune system even more.
Oh, God.
So now you go from the flu to pneumonia.
I seen a lady do that.
From pneumonia now to what they're calling the coronavirus. And all of these different viruses.
Right.
Because the body can no longer handle the chemical intake and fighting off all of these other free radicals that are going throughout the body. Then it says, but now, and this is the closing, even more severe health links have been confirmed. The National Institute of Health performed an 8-year study of over 46,000 women of all races between the age of 35 and 74 that linked chemical hair relaxers and dyes to breast cancer.
Oh, my God.
African-American women had an astounding 45% increased risk of breast cancer compared to other races because of the chemical intake. Your sex drive is falling.
Okay.
Your vagina is hurting. Your uterus, your ovaries, you're having them taken out. You're doing your menses or your menstrual cycle. You're bleeding out these huge fibroid tumors. Some of them don't come out, so they cause extreme pain in your ovary area. It is all because of these chemicals. 168 in count that most women put on their bodies throughout the day, over and over again. Not to mention going into your cars and the leather seats and other things like that that have all these more chemicals. Man. So we have to be more alert as to what we intake, how we intake it, and do things in moderations. Most people are getting their hair done every Friday, paying $100 to $200 to $300 for all of these chemicals in their hair. And I'm not trying to mess with the hair care industry.
Okay.
But Chris Rock did it first.
Okay.
With Good Hair. It's a documentary called Good Hair.
Okay.
And he did it talking about the hair industry. So for today, in our History Month, we have to begin to take better care of ourselves.
Right.
And better care means to be alert as to what you try to find things that are BPA free, which is totally free of all chemicals and endocrine disruptors. Then I want to tell you the areas of the endocrine system that these things attack is the pituitary glands, which is a part of the brain, the pineal gland, which is a part of the brain. They attack the testicles, the ovaries, the pancreas, thyroid, thymus, and the adrenal glands.
Dang.
All of these things under attack by the chemicals that we are introduced to on a daily basis. I mean, some women are actually spraying the stuff directly on their vagina. when they know they're going out and they're going to give up a little something. You know what I mean? They're trying to keep it fresh, along with the talcum powders and all other things. Even your hemorrhoid wipes and all of these other things are causing early death among our women.
Sad, man.
So, with the loss of Thomasina Billups recently and someone else that passed away, my mother, my grandmother, a lot of people dying, family members dying from cancer, and you know it's not in the bloodline.
Right.
But all of a sudden it pops up. Yolanda Junius is still lit with us, and she did an interview with me talking about her situation, and no one had the kind of cancer she suffered from.
Even in the plants, man, like the working plants that people work into, we need to realize that if you work in a plant that had to get drop-offs through your truck drivers, that the fuel stays in the building over 72 hours.
That's right.
I lost a lot of people in Meritor.
That's right.
With sudden cancer, and I worked there for 7 years myself. And I see some patterns with Federal Mogul people as I worked there.
Yes.
They were bringing that to the light, man. It's something that everybody need to definitely get checked on.
Yeah.
And my question to you when I came about it with one of the subjects about this cancer, because there's too many women, man, is being affected.
Right.
Is being affected, guys too, but there's more women than ever, and it's scary to me because I've never seen that many women just going out, man, with the cancer thing, and I know that it's coming from some place, because 1 minute everybody's all good, and then the next minute when it does attack them, it's too late to do anything. We lost a good friend of mine, Dawn, down there in Summit, and man, she passed a cancer or whatever have you. And she was around my age.
Right.
Shout out to Dawn.
Right.
You know what I mean? Shout out to a lot of y'all family members. My man Calvin Williams, moms, me and Keisha, we talk all the time about our moms, man. And it's a lot we can't understand because it happens so fast.
Right.
You know?
And like you said, with Federal Mogul, I got from a doctor specifically telling me that although the place made a lot of money, he would be happy when it closed down. My wife had very serious problems from Federal Mogul, breathing in the rubber.
So she worked there?
Yeah, for a long time. Okay. And also with same thing's going to be with Continental. Even though they have a system of cleaning the air, they only clean it to a certain degree.
Right.
And I also want to say this before closing, that these chemicals are gradually breaking down our immune system. The brain, it's affecting that. You wonder why all the fighting and all of this stuff. It's just like we're being made to go insane. Right. The stuff that was experimented on us, from the Tuskegee experiment to the radiation experiments where they claim to be trying to get rid of lice and deforming black men, to all of these psychotic experiments, and even on white people they attempted to do it.
Right.
All of these things are being done in the open through the chemicals that we're intaking.
Right.
You understand? And we don't read labels, because if you look at your toothpaste label, it says specifically, do not swallow.
Right.
But we go right in the bathroom and swallow the toothpaste, but it's filled with fluoride, and fluoride hardens the pineal gland. It destroys the brain.
The mental.
Yeah, the mental. So more and more children are being born with mental illness. You understand what I'm saying? And we're saying that's not in our bloodline, but it's in what we're putting in our bodies. So the brain is being affected. Common sense is being affected. It's even causing paranoia and mental illness, where you have more people taking medicines for anxiety. An article recently came out that links Tylenol to brain damage in children. Anyone under a certain taking it actually causes a lack of empathy in children.
Right.
So they don't have a connection to family.
They don't.
You understand what I'm saying?
And I don't want to stop. Artrell Pearson, Miss Wilson said we just lost, and Miss Wilson said, yeah, she did definitely work there 15 years.
Yeah, we just lost someone that worked there for 15 years.
Breast cancer.
That's right.
Like that.
That's right. So look, this is a serious matter, and we've given money precedence over health.
Right.
And the Bible has warned us about this, that money would become the root of all evil. So the trade-in for the dollar is your life, is death, early death.
Right.
So most men in particular are dying before their women do.
Heart disease.
You understand? Stress.
Heart disease, yeah.
And all of these other things. So I don't want to stay on that subject too long. I just wanted to open up with that.
That was good. That was good. We needed that.
For our History Day, Again, there's nothing. I don't apologize for blackness, man. I can't apologize for that. I mean, because nobody's apologizing for what happened to us in our blackness. I don't apologize for that. I just hate the fact that people are still so frightened of trying to help themselves in a time when no one's concerned about helping us
fix things.
Right, you're too busy trying to be friends with everybody at a time when we should try to. Unite with self, and that doesn't mean you harm other people. That simply means you have the same respect for yourself. When the crack epidemic was out, we sold more crack.
Yeah, we did.
But when the opioid epidemic came out, they found solutions to the problem.
They started putting this in homes.
I don't blame them for finding solutions. They did what they were supposed to do.
We just live in an old America, man.
That's what it is.
Everybody who make decisions for us or in their 70s, man. Presidents in their 70s, or everybody we hire to do a job, they almost out of touch.
Can barely bend over to get the job done.
Yeah.
Same thing I wanted to talk about. Go ahead, bro.
Then we give them so much assistance with the money that we pay to protect them.
That's right.
But we live in an old America, man.
Right.
I mean, I wish a president can be 40 at sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Earlier, yeah, with some youth in it.
Yeah, we live an old country, man.
Right. And things have to change, and the way you change that is by being the change that you want to see. Now, change is scary.
Yeah.
People will attack you when you try to change something.
Oh yeah.
But if it is a change for the better, you have to be strong enough to do it. That's what they teach in church every Sunday. But then when you try to change, they blackball you, they ostracize you, they put you out of the loop. And how do you change if people are putting you out of the loop? Now, Barbara Wilson says deodorant with aluminum causes tumors. I hate to immediately stop using it. Hard to use natural deodorants. Yeah, I mean, when you start using deodorants with aluminum, it clogs up the pores and leaves all the filth under your arm.
Yeah.
So you get these big bumps under there, and then it leaks into
discoloration to the skin.
Yeah, it's very serious.
Right.
Same thing with the black men. Unfortunately, we have a lot of black men who are ministers.
Right.
Who are very overweight.
Right.
Who talk about God on a daily basis, but won't get out and walk.
No,
won't
work
do
out.
a jumping jack. Won't try to do anything to better their health, but still supposed to be the reflection. This is not an attack on anyone. I'm saying we need to take better care of ourselves.
We do need to take better care of ourselves, including me and you,
all of us,
everybody. Yeah,
all of us. You know, because that is where we are right now. Some people are born with issues,
right,
and they take better care of themselves than people who don't have any issues.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? You talked about, you text me about broken little girls that turn out to be broken women. Go ahead.
Inspired by Shatika Hill Cooper.
Okay.
Good friend of mine, known for years, man. She was like, Dale, I want you to touch on a subject, how broken little girls become broken women.
Okay.
Oh, man, I think it was so deep because a lot of times they say when a person, here we go, if you were to read that for me.
Where is it? If you were on the street selling crack and got caught, you were placed in jail. Now these opioids are taking over. If they're talking about rehabilitation and giving the ones pushing those a slap on the wrist because it's not people of color. Exactly. That's that's common. That's just common knowledge. That's not a racist statement whatsoever.
Not at all.
That is
a truth.
That is a truth that we have to face. And it's almost our fault that we, like I said, when crack became popular, we sold it to make money.
And we went to prisons. We got strung out. But when they hit them, it's an epidemic.
Right.
So they started having all these rehabilitation and all these hotlines where you can call.
Because they can. These are people that are well organized. I applaud that. I applaud their organization. I love it. I'm
not even mad at them.
I look at it like, wow, they're prepared for things, to counteract things that we aren't prepared for. I don't hate that. I love that. What I hate is the fact that we don't do these things for ourselves. Now, of course, it won't be on the same level because we don't have the backing or the funding.
Right.
But we can at least have pamphlets. We can at least go out into the neighborhood. We can at least talk to our young people as a community. Not as one person, one church, person trying to get.
The doors are closed, man.
You know, and so it's very difficult. Explain that a little bit.
The doors, when I say the doors are closed, and I'm going to get back on topic with y'all in a minute. We just got so much to touch on.
Right.
The doors are closed because nobody want to open the door because it don't affect them.
Right.
That's the society we'll become. When you go back to looking at the deaths, when you go back to looking at the people that went through something, we never really pay attention until it affects us. The little girl got killed last week.
Right.
So how fast that was done.
Yeah.
They was able to locate that body.
Yeah.
Just like that. But we couldn't locate little Nevia for the longest.
No, we couldn't. I mean, because we had to rely on the same people who found the little white girl.
Yeah.
But because we're not organized enough to do these things on our own. You understand? And we're talking about our history month. In our lack of unity, because we are arrogant people. We want to be the one that you say, oh, Dale did that.
I got on first.
Yeah, Dale did it first.
Everybody want to.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's why we can't accept when other businesses come in town that's trying to make $1.
Right.
Because we so used to that same person to making $1.
Right.
We don't get behind people and support the ones who's trying to make $1 or that's consistent.
Right.
You always want to go after the people that you think got a little bit of cleanness to their name.
Right.
But even the clean, some people have to get dirty to get clean.
Right.
Turn that around when you get time.
That's right.
Some
Think about it for a
people have to get dirty to get clean.
Think about it for a minute. So
that fits in the lines with broken little girls.
Let's talk about that. Let's get into that real deep for a minute. Go ahead.
Broken little girls. All right. Broken little girls become broken women. I think affection is everything. I really think it starts with, I think a girl need 2 support systems, mommy and daddy. You know, because I really believe in a child being 50% his, 50% hers.
Okay.
But when a dad is not around in that daughter's life, it does play a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
Because like they say, the girl looks for that boyfriend or whoever that lover is that get close enough to her to manipulate her mind.
Right. That's right.
That he's daddy.
That's right. To take place of daddy. She gives him that power. And in fact, they call him daddy in a lot of cases.
Right.
Even doing sexual relations, daddy is daddy is daddy.
Yeah.
Because you missed that part of the male. My son just texted me asking me to tell him about his grandfather, my father. Tell you what my father sounds like.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? But I know some qualities, his good and his bad, are in me. I know by God's permission what I have to fight and what I can keep and use to grow.
I think it's very important that people really pay attention to the girls.
Yes, agreed.
Because if the woman is built strong enough from a certain age, I mean, people are going to make mistakes. We all going to make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
But if they built strong enough from a certain age and they do get that right person that not trying to manipulate the mind, but be there for them and to die with them, because that would mean so much to make more stronger men.
I agree.
Because sometimes a man, from experience, a man can really change with the proper woman in his corner.
Right.
But if she's broken, I'm speaking from experience
you're
too.
speaking from experience, yeah.
If the woman is broken who don't know how to give love, she just going to keep going through until she just say, forget it. I'm going to get me a woman now.
Right.
We lost a lot of women that way. You know what I mean? Because you even hear the attitude of women.
They're
not
in their minds, they're not lesbians. They're not homosexuals, but they just chose another woman because they can't seem to get along with a man. I agree with that.
And I'm going to tell you something funny. That's how you could tell even broken girls, man. I talked to my sister last week, my sister Denise, and I was like, yo, your birthday coming up. We're going to throw you a party. You know, me and my brother Derek. And we're going to find all your homegirls from school, stuff like that, and get them to come to the party.
Right.
First thing my sister yelled out was, I don't want no females coming to my party.
Wow.
Because I run with the guys. I don't rock with the women like that.
Wow.
That's because she don't have no trust in female friends.
Right.
And it's always been easier for her to relate to a male friend.
Right. Somebody chime in on that, because that, to me, I see that to be a situation among women, because in my class, the class of 87, I mean, you know, the women were kind of tossed around a whole lot. The same
in the
dudes.
80s,
It was a busy thing, you know, and now I don't know how they perceive each other, how they get along, but they claim to be close, but I don't know.
I think a lot of that plays just for the front of the picture. Because people don't never get the picture until the picture's been drawn.
Right.
And they say a picture can say 1,000 words.
Right.
So they're standing next to this girl, they dealt with the same dude and tossed them around or whatever, and knew a lot of them was in acceptance to knowing that they dealt with the same person. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shatika Hill got something. I want to catch this.
You got it?
No, because I can't get all of it.
It says she will look for a father figure, the total opposite of her father, or someone to do fatherly duties such as provide love and care for them if the father is absent, for there is no responsible father, or if the father is absent or there's no responsible father figure. Yeah, I believe that. I believe women, young girls, look for men. That's why men go on the prowl for young girls, because they give them money.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
They make them feel attractive.
Yeah.
And that goes both ways, Shatika, because as a male, my mother and our relationship wasn't the best.
Right.
Because I was the last born, and I looked so much like my father, and
So
they
you
were on
caught
the outside. I caught hell.
You caught it.
Now, I can't put it no better way than that. Nice. But I needed my mother's love, and I'm 50 right now, and I still find myself looking for an older woman's genuine love.
Right.
But they may take it as if though I'm trying to get freaky with them or something, but that's not what I'm after. I'm after maybe a female I can talk to openly because my sisters couldn't do it. I have 3 beautiful sisters, but they on another level. You understand? So they couldn't do what I needed to be done. I needed a comforter like a mother is. So I think that's on both levels, with males and with females.
Yeah, you can really tell it, like me and Shatika was talking with women, because when they broke in as little girls, they don't know that they really disrespecting themselves in a manner.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying? You're doing anything for this dude to accept you as a girlfriend. Anything. Lay on the grass in the woods.
Right. That's
lay
where
on the dirt.
That ride or die mentality comes from. You just do whatever.
Yeah. Destroys her whole life.
Yeah.
And still get to live his. Yeah. Moms used to always say, a man keep his business in the street, women bring her business home.
Right.
And I couldn't really understand that. But when I studied, because I studied people, because I had the patience then.
Right.
You look at a lot of females who can't be affectionate.
Right.
They don't know what affection is.
Right.
They was told, okay, I love you, lay down.
Right.
You know, we're gonna do this.
Right.
No options on anything. You know what I mean? No flowers, no affection. Give me a hug. And
just sex.
I'm not trying. Sex was the affection.
Sex
of everything.
was the affection.
Because growing up as a male yourself, all you had to do was get that right person in the right place in the right time and make it happen.
Right.
And then there's the throwaway.
Right. There are a lot of young girls who to this day, as older women, they didn't live. They reflect the anger that they went through in their lifetime. And I see that in a lot of women. They're very beautiful, but they're not attractive. Right. And that's hard to explain to a lot of people. It's like you see this woman and everyone thinks she's just the best thing. But I'm saying, yeah, she's pretty. But she's not attractive. You understand what I'm saying?
Like the song say, you can have a cute body and a cute face and your head be full of empty space.
And empty space. There's nothing there. So I see a lot of that, and perhaps they see that in us. But
they do.
This
is a vice versa conversation because it works.
It works both ways. But these young girls are sometimes molested.
Yeah, man.
Sometimes
that screws them up,
abused mentally. By saying you're ugly, you ain't gonna never get no man, this, that, and the other thing. Sometimes being bullied.
Abuse. Right.
And like you said, sometimes giving away their body so often.
Right.
That they become numb to the feeling.
And burnt out early.
Yeah, burnt out early.
When it's time to be with somebody that they really need to be doing all that with, they burnt out. They don't know how to
agree.
They don't know how to accept that.
Agreed.
You know
So I think our job, since it's our history, and I always thought this, that our job was to tackle these issues. You can't do it in the school system. There are rules and regulations and guidelines. But my wife and I used to have a after-school program that we would talk to the children after school.
Get inside of their world.
Find out how their day was, how things went. But we could not get the support of people. They would drop their children off and go shopping. Yeah. But we needed them to stay.
That's what they're doing.
You understand what I'm saying?
A lot of things we've had.
Right.
We drop them off.
Like we're babysitters.
Yeah. So I'll be back to pick them up when it's over with.
So and then that becomes a problem. So I don't know how to make us more concerned about our condition, because we're depending on another race of people to take care of us. We are like children.
Wow.
And as long as we're being taken care of by someone else's philosophy and their system, well, they can tell us or do anything they want to. They don't of black suffering, of the post-traumatic slavery disorder, of the post-traumatic stress disorder. You don't understand that. You can't help us. So we have to begin to, in my humble opinion, learn to help ourselves and be unapologetic to anybody else for that.
I think for some of us now in our caliber, we don't like to fix anything. We want to get used to a person to be in the same way. Hey man, he's a drug dealer.
Right, so that's all he can ever be.
I expect him to be a drug dealer and die a drug dealer. We don't think that people could change. Shatika came right back at us.
Yeah, I'm going to read that. I appreciate your comments. We appreciate it. I'm going to read this. Says they carry that brokenness into adulthood and womanhood in which they are still empty of exactly, which causes disconnect in relationships. Yeah. And this goes both ways because broken boys become broken men when there is no respect for affection for women because truthfully, they don't know
broken man
how exactly. Most of us are broken. And I want to see, she said something in there which caused disconnect. Yeah, the disconnection in the relationships. Exactly. Most of us live this vicariously through Real Housewives and Love and Hip Hop, and we believe that's how we're supposed to be in a relationship. So when that excitement is not in our everyday life, we make it. We have become lovers of drama.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? 95% of the fighting that goes on in Manny between guys is over some chick.
Yeah.
And the girl is not saying don't fight. She loves the fact that someone's fighting over her, dying over her, because that's how she relates love.
And then she moves on.
What else you gonna do? You still got a sex drive. You still want attention. So after this person is gone, dead, buried in jail,
a lot of that has happened.
You move on to the next person.
I've seen it.
It is a cycle of social programming that this is not going. If it took 50 years to get into, 150 years, it'll take that long to get out of.
Yeah.
But we don't have the warriors who are willing to fight that long.
We don't have people who want to die for the cause no more because we don't even value the cause of the things that we are going through.
That's right.
I think we destructing ourselves.
That's right.
I think our biggest enemy is that person in the mirror every day.
Of course.
That's the biggest enemy.
I believe it. And I think that we're going to have to change that. I don't think talking about it would change it. I think talking and doing, because prayers without work are useless. So if we're just talking and not doing, but I can't do it all. Dale can't do it all.
Nobody can do it all.
You need help to do it. And there is this upper echelon of people who will block anything that you attempt to do to enlighten everybody, because this world is not designed for everyone to be enlightened.
This world is not designed for everybody to learn.
No, it's designed for a few to take control of the many. And that's where we are. And anybody that back some years ago who attempted to change that were killed.
Yeah.
But that is not the case today. God's not going to allow that today. So we can stand up and fight back without physical, but with the knowledge that we've learned through a system that has oppressed us, we can use that oppression in order to rise above that. That's my opinion.
The strongest thing I think inside of our bodies, besides that heart, because even that heart get weak at times, is that brain.
Right.
You know, and when you look at girls being broken, it's hard for them to even accept relationship after relationship, because they think this is what I did with him.
Right.
I'm supposed to do with this one.
Right.
I'm supposed to do with this one.
Right.
This one and this one, this one.
Right.
And that's where we also talk about absence of a father.
That's right. That's going to lead us right into it.
Because you know what? I remember being a young lad myself, man, when you went to a female house and she had a father, you wasn't finna try her all kind of ways.
Absolutely.
Because he was going to come see about her.
Right.
He was on her behind and he had that conversation with you.
Right. That's right.
But anytime a girl is dating and she only have mama support in the house, she's bound to become pregnant. She's bound to become any and everything because moms ain't going to check like that.
Right. Right. It's a conflict between female and female.
Yeah.
Female and females always have a conflict. Number one.
Because the dad and the daughter always falls out somewhere along as a girl is getting older, because he's trying to tell her what to expect and what's going down. But a lot of them are going to climb out that window anyway. They're going to
do it. I've seen it being done.
Yeah.
When you have an emptiness where your heart is supposed to be, you're going to search for a lifetime to find that.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of times we go from relationship to relationship, and the infatuation process keeps us thinking that we're in love. So we are
something's going to change.
Right. Yeah. And then once that dies down, we got to go back and try to find that same feel. It's an addiction.
It
is what it is. So we're in a process of constant addiction, and we can break that cycle by I always post up at least once a month, tell somebody you love them. Because Lord knows I ain't hear enough of that. Genuine.
Nah, not genuinely.
Guys can't even tell guys, "Hey, I love you, man. I love you. I'm concerned about you." It's just this taboo about it now.
The ego and the pride.
Right. So to not be able to do that, to show that, causes a break in your emotional connection to yourself and to others.
It does.
So I would encourage all people to start not only saying you love them, sacrificing and showing you love them. And I know we say we sacrifice with our job and everything, but sometimes we work so much, our children don't even realize
we become programmed.
Right, we become programmed. So who are we really living for? The last thing on the ticket today, another topic from Castro. What do you mean?
Man, when I say when I ask that question, who are you living for? I mean that from the heart.
Okay.
Because after you gain responsibility, you're no longer really living for yourself.
Okay.
You get older. Your first child, you're no longer living for yourself.
Okay.
Being out there on your own, you're no longer living for yourself. You're living to pay rent to somebody, mortgage to somebody, bills to somebody, loans, whatever you accumulate far as financial, you're not even living for yourself anymore. Even when you work, you're around people that might don't like you, or you don't like them, or y'all don't feel each other like that. But you're trying to put on this front because you're trying to make it through the day to get paid.
Well, I find that a lot of people from childhood begin to live for their parents, for what their parents think they should be. They're not strong enough to say that's not what I want to be.
Right.
So they become what their parents want them to be, and their parents flaunt that. Their parents flaunt the fact, look at my son, he's
got all A's.
He's got, but the child, you can see it in their eyes.
They're not happy.
It's emptiness there.
They're not happy.
I was talking to a lady one day about Nina Simone. You know Nina Simone, the singer.
Great singer.
And she was saying, I love Nina Simone. Nina Simone brings such joy to me when I listen to her music. I said, yeah. I said, but she was miserable.
Very depressed.
I said, because she was supposed to be a concert pianist, classical concert pianist, and white supremacy wouldn't let her in that.
Oh, yeah.
So she had to take another route and become what she was.
Right.
She learned to make a living. Yeah, but she was just so talented, what the lady said. I said, you're missing the point. She survived, but she wasn't happy.
She wasn't.
So she wasn't able to take care of her own daughter, who she abused, mistreated, and left.
Oh, yeah.
And then she died with mental illnesses.
Yeah,
you understand what I'm saying? So she was suffering. My point is that because we see a person doing well, we think they are well.
Or they got a lot.
Or they got a lot, or they're happy, or they're feeling well. Or we see a person who has to talk strong like myself, we think they don't have
like
bad
me.
days.
Yeah.
You understand what
I
I'm
have
saying?
them all the time, and I mean,
so nobody calls to check on us. Nobody says, I'm always on social media, and I don't do it on Front Street.
Right.
Anybody who would happen to want to say, yeah, he's telling the truth, you're welcome to say it. But I always go in my inbox, how you doing?
Yeah,
how your husband doing? How your family, how your daughter? I have conversations with people that they never initiate with me because they assume this guy got it all together. But no.
Nah.
When you start to talk a certain way, you're because people don't know they think you're out of control, but we're not out of control.
Right.
We're very controlled, are able to behave in any atmosphere at any time, but people are afraid of that. So who are we living for when you see your children become these people that you wanted them to be, but they're not who they desire?
In today's society, man, the children are even very, very disconnected.
Wow. Shatika says professional people mask it professionally. Hurt and disappointment. Yes, they mask it very well. I mean, look, I'm going to tell you the God's honest truth. I spoke to a lady that's on Facebook almost every day giving encouraging words. Yeah. And the very first time I saw her, she said, you just don't know. Sometimes I can't even get out of bed in the morning. I be so depressed. I said, I do know. I understand that well. I said, but you should share that part of yourself with your audience as well. Don't just make it look like your life is just this.
Everything is peaches and cream.
Like this great ride. Tell people. So some days when I'm down, I'll say, I'm down.
I say it. And when I tell people that I even tell family, I don't want this. I'm not asking for the sympathy. I just want you to know that I'm in a different space.
Right. Empathy is what is important.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Empathy is the proper understanding of what a person goes through without trying to fix it.
You know that one word that says you're gonna be all right be sometimes just enough to reboot my whole computer and get me going back to where I'm at.
Right.
That one word.
Sometimes that makes me upset because I know they're speaking in terms of Dale.
You know, you're speaking off the list, but not from their heart.
Right. Just saying it. You know what I mean? Even when people pray for you, they say, I'm praying for you. I don't feel
I don't be wanting people to pray for me.
I don't feel about the people, children who live a miserable life. You find out later on that either they're smoking, doing drugs,
or they committed suicide.
They're doing something outside of the pocket. I had to check myself with my son because he's 12, he's 13, and I have all of my other children are grown. But my second oldest son, I always saw that he was living for me.
Mm-hmm.
All A student, always do well, but anytime he spoke, he would cut his eyes at me to see what I say.
Right.
And I pointed that out to my current wife. I said, he's going to be miserable when he gets older because he's living for everybody. Right. So I was eager for him to get from around me to find himself. Right. You understand what I'm saying?
I'm disconnected from my boys. Reason why I say that because they look like me, but they all got their own different tree branch. You know what I'm saying? And I respect that.
You should respect it.
I respect it, man. I'm so proud of it. You know what I mean?
You should respect it
and
because each person is born different.
Right.
And as a father, I tried to raise all of my children the same, and that was a mistake because I didn't find the qualities in them.
Each one of them.
In each one of them. You understand what I'm saying? I just wanted to bring out what I perceived as the best. So I always apologize to them for making mistakes, but they weren't intentional. However, they do affect the child in the long run. So the effect is real.
We never think about kids. We never think about the broken kids that's gonna not finish school. We always say, "Hey, you finish school, I'll get you anything you want, brand new car."
Right.
But nobody has never said if you don't finish school, here's other alternatives. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I think sometimes the expectation be too high.
Agreed.
And a follow-up be the disappointment a lot. You know what I'm saying?
I want to say this in closing. When we do a broadcast and you see a lot of people on the broadcast, I appreciate it. I know Dale appreciates it. But when you share the broadcast, that connects us to more people, like people in your circle.
Right.
But when you don't share it, I get a little suspect about that because we got to get out of this mindset of, oh, I got a secret I'm going to keep to myself and not let nobody know.
Got to share with the world.
Let everybody know because if we don't, look, we're in Manning, South Carolina. Look, nobody hires us to go out and do concerts. We hire people to come here and give them our money. Right. So we're like little roach in a roach motel. And the only way we break out of that roach motel is to pass the word along. So I'm hoping that you all, will begin to understand that, respect it, and honor it.
Right.
Because there's no way you're going to grow without people growing with you.
Exactly.
There's no way you're going to grow if you don't continue on with what you're doing for the rest of your life. You have to do it for the rest of your life or until the next generation grabs onto the coattail and take it along with them. That's life. And that's the way things work.
Take the mask off. First.
Yeah. So listen, I appreciate everybody tuning in. I think we did good. We did real good for our history, what y'all call Black history.
I just want to say one more thing, man, before we leave. Now, there was a lot of y'all putting up the Black History Month thing. I'm going to do this one for me and Brother Jameel. In this Black History Month, we fitting ourselves in here. We're the first cats to give you the truth and tell it like it is on a podcast. Consistently for a year and a half. Didn't ask you for $1.
Right.
Didn't sugarcoat anything. Right. And we kept coming and we kept coming.
Right. We should be nominated for something.
We're going to nominate ourselves.
Show us a little bit of love. Also for Microphone Check, where we were trying to promote local artists, and I think it was a good show. None of the shows get less than 1,000 views, 1,500 views. Great shows. I mean, like I said, it's not who you know is what you know. And unfortunately, we have such low self-esteem of ourselves. We only want to connect ourselves to people that we think are somebody.
Right.
And that's unfortunate for us because we're all somebody. And you will find out your ability and your power when you stand up for what's right, because we are in different worlds, Castro. On our level, nobody's coming to save us.
Nah.
And on the upper echelon level, they have rules, laws, and guidelines that already has them saved in their world.
Oh, yeah.
So if we don't make these same rules, guidelines that are effective and conducive to what we are and how we are, we're going to always be last. We're going to always be consumers. We're going to never be the sellers.
Right.
So if we wish to be successful at selling our ideas, selling the truth, and selling the reality of where we are in today and the times we are in right now, we got to unite. Unity is the ticket, right?
Yep.
And if you don't unify, then the person who we're like free radical cells, broken apart, and we can't save anyone because we're too weak as individuals. I hope you understand that.
Even with the microphone check, man, the reality, I try to shoot out to a lot of these brothers, man, that's approaching that age that still want to do this music. Find different ways, man, inside that industry, man, because things have changed.
Right.
Another thing I want to bring to attention, like you just was talking about Snoop and Gayle, do y'all understand Snoop Dogg has been successfully a big dog in the hip-hop world for 20 plus years, and Gayle's been doing her thing for so long? She has more money than Snoop.
Right. More power.
And more power.
And that's
you
got to
certain things you got to be careful with. Certain things are not to be said. I get people to approach us about. We get people. Don't believe me. We get people to approach us about doing certain stories and certain guidelines.
I got one right now that's got me twisted, man.
And we be turning things down.
We're not big enough. I mean, honestly, if we do If we do it, they coming after us.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And we don't have an army of people who say, oh, no, don't touch Jameel, don't touch Castro.
Right.
Y'all just going to be the ones up there, unfortunately, saying, man, them been some good dudes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't want that. I want us to be able to live through, because, I mean, we have requests from people to cover situations that will put us in harm's way.
Stories.
And I want to do it. Dale wants to do it, but we can't do it.
I get told all the time from my co-partner, like, yo, don't touch that.
Don't touch it.
He always
because
tell
it's
me
too
that.
big.
Don't
because nobody's going to back us when we get in
now,
that
we're not
mess.
afraid.
No, but it's just
the backing.
It's just the family. You got family members who, I know where your wife works. I know where your children go to school. I know when you leave home. This is how real it is with what we've done. And we ask for your support and your help, but all we need is for you to look after us by sharing, supporting, and people to know we exist. Because right now we're in a small town where nobody know we exist, and those who do know, well, hell, they don't do us right. You understand what I'm saying? So thank y'all for tuning in.
Thank y'all.
Some Bone Crusher. You know Bone Crusher?
Yeah, that's my uncle right there. My mom's brother. What's up, Uncle?
Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you. Thank everybody for tuning
on. Keep checking us, man.
Please keep checking in and sharing this information, especially today's show for the Black woman, broken girls, the effects of absent fathers, and who we really living for, Black male health and Black mental health. All this we need to be talking about.
Hill, thank you.
Appreciate it.